Before time was carved into kingdoms and empires, there was a land blessed by the gods, Nyambani, the great kingdom of the rising sun. It was a land of golden rivers and rolling hills, where wisdom walked hand in hand with strength. A kingdom untouched by war, ruled by kings who honored the ways of their ancestors. But even in the most prosperous of lands, fate weaves its own tale. And on one fateful night, under the glow of twin moons, a prophecy was whispered into the wind, a prophecy of power, of division, and of ruin. On the night of the two moons, Queen Zola, beloved by her people, gave birth to twin sons. The first, Kwame, was born with fire in his soul, his cries fierce and strong. The second, Jabari, was born in silence, his eyes deep with wisdom beyond his years. The kingdom rejoiced, for never before had the gods gifted two heirs in a single night. But Moyo, the eldest of the sacred scribes, saw the signs in the stars and felt the weight of destiny in his bones. As he looked upon the twin moons, his voice trembled as he spoke his prophecy. Moyo, whispering, two sons, two kings, one destiny. They will either bring an age of golden unity, or tear the kingdom apart in a storm of war. The queen, holding her newborns close, did not yet understand the weight of these words. But fate had already begun its work, and the wheels of destiny were turning. Kwame and Jabari grew not as rivals, but as two halves of the same soul. They were bound by blood, yet different as night and day. Kwame, with a heart as wild as the untamed rivers, became a warrior of unmatched strength. He wielded the spear like an extension of his own body, his strike swift as the wind and his feet as steady as the great baobab trees. The warriors of Nyambani loved him, for they saw in him the protector of their land. Jabari, quiet and watchful, preferred the halls of knowledge over the battlefield. He read the ancient texts, learning the secrets of kings who had ruled before him. His wisdom surpassed even the elders, and the scholars whispered that he was destined to bring an age of enlightenment. The people looked to him as a leader of mind and peace. Despite their differences, the brothers were inseparable. They trained together, studied together, laughed under the stars. They swore an oath. Kwame and Jabari, in unison. We are two, but we are one. Nothing shall ever divide us. But the winds of fate are cruel, and even the strongest bond can be tested by the whispers of ambition. The years passed, and as the twin princes grew, so did the voices around them. The people of Nyambani, once united, now murmured in hushed tones. Warriors. Kwame is the true heir. A kingdom must be defended by the strong. Only the sword can rule. Scholars. No, Jabari is the true king. A land ruled by wisdom will last 1,000 years. Might alone leads to ruin. Kwame heard the warriors' chants. Jabari listened to the scholars' whispers. And where once they had stood side by side, a sliver of doubt now separated them. Was the throne meant for a warrior? Or a scholar? Could two rule as one, or must one bow to the other? The seeds of pride had been planted. And soon, they would take root. Deep in the shadowed valleys of Nyambani, where the sun dared not touch the earth, there lived a woman of dark power, Nyoka, the whispering serpent. She was neither old nor young, her eyes endless pools of deceit. She had seen the signs in the stars. She had tasted the change in the wind. And she knew, a kingdom divided is a kingdom ripe for the taking. One by one, she visited the twin princes, her voice as smooth as silk, her words like venom dripping into their ears. Nyoka to Kwame. You are strong, Kwame. The people love you. A king must be a warrior. Will you allow a man of books to take the throne that belongs to you? Nyoka to Jabari, smirking. Wisdom is the true power, Jabari. What is strength without direction? Will you let your brother lead the kingdom into the hands of war? And so, the poison seeped deeper. Suspicion grew. And the love that once bound the brothers began to unravel. And then, the day of reckoning arrived. The great king of Nyambani, father to the twin princes, lay upon his deathbed, his breath shallow, his strength fading like the last light of dusk. Sounds of labored breathing, the rustle of ropes as the brothers kneel beside their father. King, weakly. Rule together, or not at all. His last words, spoken with what little strength remained, hung in the air like a final warning. And then, silence. The king was dead. And with him, died the peace of Nyambani. The council gathered. The people waited. A decision had to be made. But no agreement could be reached. Elder 1. Kwame must be king. He is strong. He will protect us. Elder 2. No. Jabari is the wise choice. Strength fades, but wisdom lasts forever. And so, the unthinkable happened. The great kingdom of Nyambani was split in two. Kwame ruled the west, a kingdom of warriors. Jabari ruled the east, a kingdom of scholars. Two thrones. Two kings. Two paths. And so, the brothers who were born together were torn apart. At first, the kingdom remained at peace. The land was divided, but the brothers still met under the ancient baobab tree where they had once played as children. They exchanged words of respect, but beneath their smiles, shadows lurked. It began with whispers. Then, small disputes. Border feuds over land and trade. A merchant from Kwame's kingdom accused of stealing from Jabari's. A scholar from Jabari's kingdom imprisoned by Kwame's guards. The first battle was not fought with swords, but with silence. Letters went unanswered. Peace talks failed. And then, on one fateful night, the first sword was drawn. Kwame's warriors marched to reclaim what they believed was theirs. Jabari's scholars, once men of peace, took up arms to defend their homes. And with that single night of bloodshed, war began. The rivers of Nyambani ran red as the war spread like wildfire. The warriors of the west, led by Kwame, struck with the fury of the storm. The strategists of the east, under Jabari's guidance, countered with cunning and patience. Kwame, once a brother, now a general. His armor gleamed under the sun, his war cry shaking the earth. Jabari, once a scholar, now a commander. His mind sharp as a blade, his plans turning battles before they began. For every village taken, another was lost. For every victory claimed, another brother lay dead in the fields. And yet, neither would yield. The Queen Mother, standing on the battlefield, her voice breaking with sorrow. Queen Mother Zola, weeping. My sons, stop this madness. You were born together. Why must you die apart? But her cries were drowned by the roar of war. And in the darkest shadows of the battlefield, the whispering serpent watched and smiled. Nayoka had waited for this moment, feeding on their hatred, growing stronger with each drop of blood spilled. Her whispers had become a storm in the brothers' hearts. And now, the time had come for her to take what she had always wanted, the throne of Nyambani. Nayoka's voice led us through the air, whispering into the night. Nayoka. They were fools to think they could rule together. Now, they will destroy each other, and I will roll the ashes. Her spell began to weave, her power dark as the endless abyss. The war was no longer just a battle between men, but a curse upon the land itself. The final battle came under the cursed sky of the blood moon. It was a night of reckoning, a night where fate would decide the victor, or doom them both. Kwame stood at the gates of Jabari city, his army behind him, his blade gleaming with fire. Kwame, roaring. Come out and face me, brother. Let us end this, once and for all. Jabari, standing atop the fortress walls, his eyes filled with sorrow but his voice steady. Jabari. Warrior or scholar, does it matter now? All we have done is burn what our father built. But it was too late for words. The horns of war were sounded. The gates were broken. And the final battle had begun. Brother against brother. Blade against blade. The prophecy had come true. And then, the sky cracked open. A sudden, eerie silence. The wind stops. The blood moon glows impossibly bright. From the heart of the battlefield, Nayoka emerged. Her cloak billowed like a living shadow, her hands raised high. The very ground trembled beneath her power. Nayoka, triumphant, laughing. Yes. Yes. You have fed my magic with your hatred. Now, the kingdom is mine. darkness spreads, swallowing the land. Just as the kingdom was about to fall into eternal darkness, a voice echoed through the battlefield, deep, powerful, commanding, "Enough." In that moment, the spirits of the ancestors descended from the heavens, their forms shimmering like golden fire. Time itself seemed to stop. The warriors, the scholars, even the great armies froze in place. Kwame and Jabari, gasping, their weapons falling from their hands. Ancestors, you were meant to rule together. But blinded by pride, you have brought ruin instead. And now, you must face the price of your folly. The brothers, for the first time in years, turned to face each other, not as enemies, but as the children they once were. Kwame, voice breaking. "What have we done, Jabari?" Jabari, whispering. "We let the serpent divide us, and now our people suffer." The truth had come too late. The land was in ruins. And the ancestors would not let their mistake go unpunished. There was only one way to break the curse. One final act to undo what had been done. Under the blood moon, Kwame and Jabari stood together, one last time. Kwame, no more war. Jabari, no more division. They raised their hands toward the sky and offered themselves to the spirits. A blinding light. A roar of thunder. And then, silence. When the light faded, the brothers were gone. The throne of Nyambani stood empty. And so, the tale of the twin kings comes to an end. Their kingdom, lost to time, serves as a powerful reminder: no force is stronger than the bond of unity, and no enemy more dangerous than the one within. May their story live on as a lesson for us all. The power of family, the weight of pride, and the legacy of a kingdom that once was. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more epic tales. Until the next legend, stay curious, and never forget the stories that shape us.